Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan, and on this video I will be talking about 10 players that could win the Heisman Trophy this season. Before we get into today's video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also turn on that notification bell. Chances are if you're watching this video, you really love sports, and also drop a like on this video. So we'll start off this list at number 10 with Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel. He's the new Oklahoma Sooners quarterback after both Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams transferred this offseason. He transferred from UCF. He spent 3 seasons there, where he was one of the top quarterbacks in the country when he's healthy. In those 3 seasons that he was there, he has thrown for over 8,000 yards with 70 passing touchdowns and only 14 interceptions. He's also added 372 yards on the ground with 8 rushing touchdowns. In his career as a starting quarterback, he has a record of 18 wins and 8 losses, with his best season in wins coming in the 2019 campaign. Dillon has thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in all 26 games he has appeared in. He has also had at least 2 passing touchdowns in 20 games, and he has also had at least 4 touchdown passes in 7 games in his career. His career passing efficiency rating since the start of the 2019 season is the 7th best in college football. His 70 touchdown passes are the 3rd most in college football over the last 3 years, despite missing the final 10 games last season. He's most likely going to put up great numbers like that again, and the team could be in the playoff hunt all season. Number 9 is Miami quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke was one of the best quarterbacks in college football during the second half of last season. He was named ACC Rookie of the Year and was also named ACC Offensive Rookie of the Year despite not playing a full season as a starter. Tyler started the final 9 games of last season after taking over for redshirt senior King. As a freshman, he finished the season throwing for 2,931 yards, 25 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. Tyler ended his freshman season with 6 consecutive games at least 300 passing yards and with at least 3 passing touchdowns. He became the first Power 5 quarterback to record such a streak in a single season since Joe Burrow of LSU did this back in his 2019 Heisman campaign. In his final 6 games of last season, Tyler was on pace for a 12-game season with over 4,000 passing yards, with 40-plus touchdowns, given a full season last year. I absolutely think that he could put up those numbers this season, and he could break multiple records for the Hurricanes. Number 8 is Ohio State running back Tre Veyon Henderson. He will be entering his sophomore season as a Buckeye after a very impressive 2021 campaign. As a true freshman, he proved to already be one of the best running backs in the country. He rushed 183 times for 1,248 yards and 15 touchdowns, while adding 27 receptions for 312 yards and 4 additional scores. He also did all of that while not being fed the ball until his 3rd game. During Week 13 last season against the Michigan Wolverines, he broke Ohio State's freshman record for touchdowns from scrimmage with 19. After his fantastic freshman campaign, he is poised to take on more of the workload as a sophomore. He will have to share the spotlight with his quarterback, who is the favorite to win the award, and with many talented receivers on this offense. Henderson will have his chance to shine though, as the Buckeyes play Michigan, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Penn State, and Wisconsin this season. With a good season in 2022, he could win the Heisman or set himself up well for a Heisman campaign in the 2023 season. Number 7 is Wisconsin running back Braelon Allen. As a true freshman in 2021, he rushed for 1,268 yards with 12 rushing touchdowns. He averaged just under 7 yards per carry, which was the 7th best in college football and the 2nd best in the conference. He did rush for at least 100 yards in 8 of his final 9 games last season, and he also had a streak of 7 consecutive games with 100-plus yards, and that's the longest streak by a freshman in Wisconsin history. He also had 9 rushes of 30-plus yards last season, which was the most by a player from the Big Ten, and he was tied for the 4th most in college football. Wisconsin is surely going to rely on him heavily on the offense in 2022, because Wisconsin's offense isn't going to be that great next season, I believe. which is why I think he could be a Heisman contender. If Allen can put up the numbers again like he did last season and could potentially keep Wisconsin in the midst for a Big Ten title, he could absolutely be in the midst for the Heisman Trophy this year. Number 6, Ohio State wide receiver Jaxon Smith-Njigba. He has a very strong chance that he can win the Heisman Trophy in the new season. But there is another player on his team who's likely going to be taking votes away from him. I will get to that player later in this video. Despite being the number 3 pass catcher on the depth chart last year, he put up big numbers and had the Rose Bowl of his life when he played against Utah. In that game, he set a number of college football records and a single game school record with 374 receiving yards in their win against Utah. That's the most receiving yards ever in a bowl game in college football history. It was also the most in a single game in Ohio State history and the second most in Big Ten history. That was also the 5th highest total in NCAA Division I history. He also added 15 receptions, which tied an Ohio State record. He finished the 2021 season with 95 catches for 1,606 yards and 9 touchdowns while averaging 16.9 yards per catch. He also had 7 total games in the 2021 season with at least 100 receiving yards. His 95 receptions were also the 5th most in Big Ten history. I believe he's the best wide receiver in college football right now, and he could have one of the greatest seasons for a wide receiver in college football history this year. Number 5 is Texas running back Bijan Robinson. Robinson is the top draft eligible running back in college football as a junior. In his freshman season, he rushed for 703 yards and 4 touchdowns. His role increased as a sophomore, as he totaled 1,127 rushing yards, 295 receiving yards, and 15 total touchdowns. Unfortunately for him, he slipped out of Heisman contention last year as the losses piled up for Texas. They went 5-7 in 2021, but it wasn't due to a lack of good running back play. He still had Heisman caliber numbers. I believe that he's one of the best running backs in college football and looks like he would be a great NFL star when he declares for the draft. The Longhorns have plenty of games where Robinson can get a Heisman moment. When they play Alabama, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Baylor, which should put them on the national stage. He could be the most electrifying player in college football, and he has the potential to be the first running back to win the award since 2016. Number 4 is Alabama linebacker Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr. is the best defensive player in college football this season. In his freshman season, he had 52 total tackles, 33 solo tackles, 19 assisted tackles, 7 sacks with 1 forced fumble. In the 2021 season as a sophomore, he had 101 total tackles, 57 solo tackles, 44 assisted tackles, and 3 passes defended with 17.5 sacks. He was named the best defensive player in college football last season and also won the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2021 after leading the nation in sacks. He could be the first defensive player to win the award since 1997. It's been quite a while, but Anderson has the talent to do it. Not only does he captain Alabama's defense, he can win a national title in addition to another linebacker and defensive awards. Might as well add a Heisman Trophy to the case this season. Number 3 is USC quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams started his college football career with Oklahoma in 2021 before transferring to USC in 2022. He followed head coach Lincoln Riley to USC. Williams flashed elite potential last year with Oklahoma. He completed 64.5% of his passes for 1,912 yards with 21 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions. His ability as a runner helped him reach 442 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Caleb broke Oklahoma true freshman records in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He was on a full season pace for 3,000 passing yards and 30-plus passing touchdowns. He will get a full season as a starter with USC this season. He will have some of the best weapons of any quarterback in college football. USC does have one of the top wide receiver rooms in college football. They will have a few big games on the schedule, including Utah and Notre Dame. Caleb Williams can join some other USC quarterback legends who have won the Heisman Trophy. Number 2 is Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the returning Heisman winner. In his first year as a starter, he passed for 4,872 yards, 47 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions on 66.9% completion. He'll be in the running all season long. There has only been one player in college football history to win the Heisman Trophy more than once. That would be former Ohio State running back Archie Griffin won the award both in 1974 and 1975, becoming the first and to date the only player to take home the Heisman twice. If he wants to have another shot at winning the Heisman Trophy for the second straight season in a row, you would have to expect that he needs to top those numbers or at the very least have the other competition not be as strong this year. In the new season, he will be going up against Texas A&M and Arkansas, which are games that Young can use to bolster his Heisman status. We have seen how hard and nearly impossible it is to win the Heisman Trophy in back-to-back seasons, but he will have a great chance again this year to win that award. Number 1 is Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. After starting the season off with a few hiccups, he ended up developing nicely into a great quarterback. In the 2021 season, he passed for 4,435 yards, 44 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions on 71.9% completion. He set 17 Ohio State school records in the 2021 campaign, including 13 passing records. His play resulted in him finishing 4th for the Heisman Trophy and led Ohio State to an 11-2 record and a Rose Bowl victory. He was named the Big Ten's Offensive Player of the Year last year, along with the Quarterback of the Year and Freshman of the Year. Even though he lost a couple of key weapons in the NFL Draft this year, however, he has one of the best wide receivers in college football this season. There are plenty of big games for him to get his big moment this year. He will be my favorite to win the Heisman Trophy this season. So that was my top 10 list for the Heisman Trophy. Was there a player that I ranked too high or a player that I ranked too low? Or was there a player that I didn't even mention in this video? Leave your comments down below. Before you leave, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also turn on that notification bell. And if you love sports, this is definitely the channel for you. And also share this video with more sports fans. As always, thank you so much for watching, and this is Nathan. I'll see you all in the next video. Just keep loving sports.